3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, hello, internet world. Norma Joe again. I'm out of the bath now. Look at how pristine I look. Okay, I want to do like at least one more of these before I go out into the night. It's so like cloudy out there. Makes it look like hella dark. The sky today was like, I think it's gonna rain, but I doubt it. But if it did, that would be like fucking awesome. Okay, where was I? Right, he was talking to Tupac, he got the cigarettes from Finlayson. Okay, Jordan's POV. It was my second day with that snow hat cemented to my head. I wondered vaguely what Ray wanted the night before, but only because I had nothing else to think about. I didn't actually care about him, hair-molesting, twin crazy bastard. Hey, Catalano, huh? I barely had time to turn around before I was squished into a Seahawks jersey. Mi amigo bueno, said Kurt in a weird, cuddly sounding voice. Is this like a joke? Ha 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 ha. He let go of me, which was good since now I could breathe. You're so funny, and that's what I love about you. Was I dreaming? Was this a nightmare? What happened to Mr. We'll never have chemistry in a million years? It's almost like first period, I said, hoping I could get away, but he grabbed me by the wrist. Nuh-uh, amigo. We're not going to class. Hoy vamos a bailar. What? And the next thing I knew, we were in an empty classroom. I think they just like transitioned, like they teleported almost, you know. And we were in an empty classroom with a radio on the floor. Kurt, the kidnapper. Why is Jordan just being kidnapped left and right by every character? I was tying up his shirt. Wait, what's like going on? You, me, Lobito. It's funny because it sounds like libido, but it's like Lobo Ito. I don't even know if that's really how you say it, but it's in the story. Are gonna help me beat the pantalones off my nunca bueno cheat necks with our reggaeton and dance moves. We'll own the whole talent show. Dance? I yelped. No way, I can't like dance. I'll teach you. No, I'm like not a performer. You can't force me. He glared at me scarily. Yeah, I can't, but I've been told I'm very persuasive. Oh yeah? What are you, like, gonna do? Well, first I'd make a call to the fish in the river and tell them they're about to have some company. God. 1 hour later. I wanted to die. God. I was not made to dance. As soon as Kurt stopped the music, I hit the floor panting. I wondered if anyone else had ever had reggaeton as cause of death on their death certificate. Is this like, Rumpelstiltskin? Oh no, not Rumpelstiltskin. He stomped himself into the floor. What is it? It was one of those witches who was like, they put her in red hot shoes, and then she was like flailing around from being in the hot shoes, and they made her dance till she fucking died. Oh no, wait, that's a different one too. Okay, one of the witches was put in red hot shoes, and then another of the witches, I remember, they had a magic violin or flute or something, and it would make her dance against her will. And they made her dance in a thorn bush until she like was ripped apart by thorns. But I swear there was another witch that died of exhaustion because she was forced to dance herself to death. Anyways, a lot of this fucked up shit. Okay, where was I? Okay. Ay, baila. Doesn't it just make you feel so full of life? It does for me. Apparently not for this fucking smoker. That's like not exactly the words I'd use. Alright, come on, let's go again. No, I panted. Wait a sec, let me get some water. I need some water too. Let me get some. I think my water I had before is almost empty. Hi, kitty. Too many boxes around here. Okay, where was I? Okay, let me go get some water. I staggered out into the hallway, and luckily enough, it was passing period. I spotted Angela's red head in the crowd. Oh, Angela, will you, like, marry me? She turned around and looked at me, confused. What are you talking about? You know, like what I said, I answered and walked up to her. Alright, I guess. If we can get some Red Bull on the way. So maybe it didn't happen exactly like that. Or at all like that. But I did run up to her. What is the movie I was parodying with all these, like, false, like, these false thing? My old coworker called them Scrubs moments, but I don't really watch Scrubs. But, I think it's from, like, Quince or something like that. Like, where the girl kept saying, like, she was narrating and she kept having, like, these false things go on. I think that's what it's from. But I'm sure a lot of movies have done it. Angela, I panted, you gotta, like, help me. Cobain's, like, trying to kill me. Did he already call the fish in the river? No, but he, like, will if I don't do the, like, damn talent show. I sighed. I never, like, thought I wish for the days when him and Tupac would just, like, make out in front of my locker. I don't even know, like, when the talent show is. Next week, she answered. I am, like, gonna die. Yeah, I'm interested to see how this whole thing turns out. Those two have a long history of the talent show. They do? Yep, every year it's something. They met through one of those shows. Somehow they both joined Salsa Club. They were partners, and in the middle of De La Que... No. What? Kurt's heel broke, and bang, he hit the floor. Tupac dragged him backstage, and they never came back. The rest is history. That's, like, disgusting. Yeah, it's true, and it's also why that blonde never wears heels. They've done the talent show ever since. I think you're, like, making it up. Nah, I heard it from Ricky. You should probably get back before your partner kills you. As I neared the empty classroom again, I could hear shouts from inside. What is he? Another version of... Oh, okay, another version of me. Is he perverted like me? Would he go down on you in the middle of a theater? Is that how it goes? Yeah, something like that. You're crazy. Oh, okay, so I thought he was playing the song. I guess he was just quoting. You're crazy. A crazy thing. I try to talk sense to you, but it just rolls off. That's what your mom probably said when you cheated on her. What? Is that really what it says, your mom? Okay, I guess so. See, that's what I'm talking about. Denial's not just a river, you know. The door swung open and Tupac walked out looking pissed. I came a little bit closer to the door, and in a split second, Kurt grabbed my shirt and pulled me in and slammed the door shut. Were you just, like, fighting? Cállate, Cataro. What? Bailamos. Cataro? It's like Catalano, I told him. Whatever. 40 minutes later. How much time has passed? Like, I should count up all these time cues. But then again, they're in, like, a warped world where, you know, time is probably just a crazy, like, 20-sided dice, you know? Let's see what all my cats are doing. Okay, there he is. I thought he was, like, ripping the window apart. Because he would do some shit like that. We took a break, which meant I was on the floor, panting again. I must have missed something while I was in the process of dying, because when I looked up, Kurt was reading off a little folded piece of paper. What's that? He quickly hid it behind his back. What's what? I don't have anything. But I just, like, saw. Don't be so damn curious. That's the sort of thing that'll get you ass raped someday. God, that's pretty brutal. He glanced up at the clock. I don't know why there was a perfectly good clock in an empty classroom when the history and English rooms were still relying on sundials, but maybe that's just one of life's mysteries. Yes, it's the inequality of the world. It's almost time for third period, he said. We did some stretches. I never knew this guy liked to dance so much. I mean, come on. Kurt was the type of kid who does trash can races for fun. At the bell, we ran out the door, pulling down our shirts straight. It's funny how, like, it's compulsory for them to, like, tie their shirts up. At the bell, we ran out the door, pulling down our shirts straight to history. The ultra-paranoid teacher was busy calling roll. Joshua, here. Stogie. Yeah, here. Shakur. She looked around. We all looked around. But there was no Tupac. But instead, I noticed some weird new kid in the back of class. Oh god, here we go again. Cobain was whispering to him or her. I couldn't really tell. The new kid had a scarf over their head, glasses, and a lot of black lipstick. Ray's point of view. I should have been up to my usual tricks, but the truth was that I felt kind of guilty about Jordan. He didn't seem too happy about his new hair. Well, not happy at all, more like it sucked. But now he was even more distant from me than before. I had to think of a plan to get him back somehow. Have you ever watched Teletubbies? I agree with the Americans. That purple one is totally gay, said a random kid at the front of the room. Personally, I think they're all gay, answered the trench coat kid who was sitting next to him. Nah, not Poe. Are you kidding? Poe is totally a butch lesbian. I found this picture on Google Images one time of Poe holding a Nazi flag. That shit was so funny to me. Sometimes it's just a simple thing to make you laugh. Where was I? Homeroom was over and we all ran out to our lockers. I flipped a combination on mine and tried to open it, but it wouldn't budge. Huh? I tried again, but the same thing happened. What the hell? All of a sudden, some big biker-type kid muscled his way in front of me and opened the locker. Was I really at the wrong locker the whole time? It didn't make sense. I could have sworn that was mine, but maybe I did just make a mistake. So I tried the one next to that locker, and sure enough, it opened. The locker was totally empty. The only thing in there was a note taped to the back of it. It said, haha, happy early April Fool's, sucker. And the next thing I knew, I was shoved inside with people snickering on the outside. So cruel. I tried to open it, but the lock was already closed on, and that made them laugh harder. Bastards. Nice one, Ryuji. I couldn't have done it without you. Oh, it was your idea. Asakawa? I couldn't believe he had done this, of all people. When I get out of here, I'm gonna beat your ass, honeyhead. But they just walked away laughing. Great, now what the hell am I gonna do? So much, abuse goes on in these schools, but this is, I feel like this is the type of shit that goes on in anime, anyway. The high school ones, from the little bit I've seen. Just, no fucking parental supervision at all. Just kids running rampant and shit. I tried to lean against the back of the locker, but the back part of it collapsed, and I wound up flat on the floor. Oh, so it was a fucking Mission Impossible style, it was fake. You put him in a fake room. Ow, son of a bitch. And then I realized, what was right in front of me. The locker led to some sort of tunnel system inside the walls. Ooh. Whoa, maybe the ninja headquarter rumor was true. Well, there was no reason not to crawl inside. After all, there could be some way out of the locker, and then I could scare the hell out of those geek punks. I crawled forever. Well, not really, maybe for a couple minutes. And then there were voices. Unclear voices. So I put my ear to the floor, trying to see if I could tell what classroom I was above. Ah, of course the retarded tunnel had to break, and I fell from the ceiling to the boiler room. Oh, okay. Floor. I landed flat on my stomach like one of those stuffed cat toys. And to make it worse, when I looked up, who was standing in front of me but Tupac and Jim? And they didn't look happy. I thought you guys were at the laundromat by Lolita's. I blurted out. Maybe if I kept saying stuff, it would save me from being brutally swirlied. Nah, said Tupac. That's just code speak. We were planning to meet here the whole time. Really? Yeah, all the tough kids know the code speak. I wished I were a tough kid. Well, nice seeing you guys, but I gotta get going. I barely picked myself up off the cement before Jim whispered something in his friend's ear. Tupac nodded back and then turned to me. No, I don't think so. Who knows how much you've heard already. You better stay where we can see you. No, really, I didn't hear nothing. That's a double negative. Double negatives are the phrases of liars. Are you a liar? No! He narrowed his eyes at me. I realized I was trapped. Damn, I set myself up for that one, didn't I? Yes, you did. What? He set himself up? I think he's just taking more blame than he deserves. With a sigh, I sat back down on the floor. All of a sudden, there was a scurry of footsteps on the concrete. And in the time it takes to look up, there was a flash of a camera. Ha, yes! It was Asakawa's voice. That rat again. Finally, the tip was right. All the students will die for this. And if the editor won't put out my article, I swear I'll key his car. Here it is, the real-life dirt on the toughest kids in the city scandal. Nah, that sounds too long. A title should be snappy and roll off the tongue. This is funny because I just watched Nightcrawler last night and I never saw that movie before because I was listening to Wisecrack and they did it on their podcast, and they were like, it's from 2014. I remember when it came out, everyone was talking about it, but I didn't fucking watch it. And, I never had any interest to see it until now. I was like, well, I'll give this a try. So it's just funny, every time they mention something about, like, headlines or something like that, it's like, oh, this is just like that movie. I wondered if he always had such elaborate conversations with himself. Hey, I do. Tupac and Jim were already mobilizing to take him down. Stay here, Blondie. No way, I said. Leave him to me. That creep already screwed with me once today. I went after Asakawa, following his voice for direction. He was, hanging, I guess? Langing? I don't know, whatever. Hanging around the boiler room stairs and yapping like a loony. Hey, honeyhead. I thought he was about to have a heart attack. Seeing him that scared warmed my heart like a big wormy thing. How'd you find me? You forgot the most important rule of paparazziing. Shoot and run. He bolted up the stairs and out the door, with me right behind. We were ready for the fastest, fiercest, most intense chase this side of the Pacific Ocean. A chase to rival the Steve McQueen chase scene. So you can see why it sucked so much when he just ran from the boiler room door across the hall to the newspaper club room and locked the door. I stood there anyway, banging on the door, and I could hear him from the other side saying, "Normal Japan too, other Japan, null." Jordan's POV. The next morning I was late to school. It was totally not my fault. I was having nightmares about hip-hop dance moves all night and the insane neighbor who starts screaming at the perfect time each morning was well off time. So I grabbed a stick of gum and a few cigarettes and went out the door. The streets were totally packed, and the traffic was moving slower than a snail. No, literally. I looked out the car window and saw a snail zipping past us all. Oh, that's like the beginning to, Office Space, which is another movie I didn't ever see and only just recently saw. I watched Office Space, like, a couple weeks ago, but I've never seen that before either. I think it was laughing, too. All this crap just because the Pope was in town. That's so fucking true. That's so true. Alright, so I kind of lied about that last part. There was no Pope. What? There should be a Pope in town. Making the traffic back up and shit. Well, I mean, there is a Pope, but he wasn't in town coming up the street, cramming up the streets. The, neutral weird thing... Wait. The actual, I think it says, weird thing was the 13 dogs laying in the middle of the road, which forced anyone who didn't want to be stamped dog killer for life to drive in a zigzag like a member of the AKC agility team. Slinky, what are you doing? Why are you trying to go in there? Come here, baby. I just fed them, and they're still being little pains in the ass, like always. Come here, baby. Okay, where was I? By the time I got to school, it was almost time for second period. There were a couple of boys hanging around the front steps. A blonde, a towhead, and a short redhead. I knew them. They were Tito's boys, like me. Fellow greasers. I wouldn't really call Jordan a greaser, but that's the funny thing is, like, when I first saw the show, I didn't know what to call his style. I had never heard of grunge before, and I didn't consider it rock because, like, because in my world, rock was, like, emo rock. Emo punk or, you know, nu metal. That's the type of shit that it was. So, like, I don't know, I just didn't consider it like that. I wasn't used to that style. So I was like, oh, he looks like a greaser, but he's totally not. Like, I don't know where I got that idea, but whatever. Okay, there were a couple of boys, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, these three guys are from The Outsiders, I'm pretty sure. Hey, Jordan, called the short one friendly. He was younger than the rest of us. He was 14. But he was still cool. Hey, Pony, yeah, these are the guys from, The Outsiders. Hey, Pony, what's, like, up? We've got a mission from the Dawn. Dallas, the one with the white hair, said. I could already guess that by the fact, they were there, but he was always all business. What's the, like, objective? There's a madam in Freaktown that ain't paying what she owes. I rolled my eyes. Freaktown, like figures. Yeah, everything seems to happen in Freaktown. Yeah, and you're driving, said the blonde, Soda. He walked past me in this slinky way and took a bat at my snow hat. It sent shivers up my spine, but not in a nice way, like when a chick with a big ass bends down in front of you. Okay, let's cut it there.